Hey everyone, today I'm joined by Oli Faubert. He has built multiple 8-figure print-on-demand e-commerce stores and exited those stores as well. He's going to be sharing with us today everything that he's learned, his story, the things that went well, the things that didn't go well, and we're going to be picking his brain and trying to see what we can learn from him so that we can also succeed in our print-on-demand business. So Oli, if you want to go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and your story, that would be awesome.
Cool. Thanks, Jacob. Thanks for having me. My dream was to make money online because it was the ultimate freedom, and I value freedom a lot. And I started in 2009 to study how to make money online, struggled for 5 years and failed miserably. And my goal was just to make 3K online to be able to travel and to work from wherever I want. And then it took me like 5 years to learn the secret. And one of the biggest secret I learned was that there was no actually secret at all, and it's only you need to build a business, and you build a business through offering a service or a product. It's really the only two ways. And then so we tried multiple stuff over the years, and we had our first breakthrough in 2014, August 2014, through Teespring, with selling t-shirt advertising on Facebook ads.
What was it like selling on Facebook back then? What was the strategy and how is it different from maybe what you're doing now?
I tend to say that in 2014, it was the golden age of Facebook ads. So in 2014, it was a lot more straightforward than it is today. We basically created a ton of designs, targeted dozens of different niches on Facebook, and we created dozens of designs per week. We would just have a product page on Teespring. We didn't even own or operate the website. And Teespring is a t-shirt platform that lets you upload some t-shirt design, and you can send traffic to your product page, and then you make a commission. So we were just launching a shit ton of designs every week. We were testing a lot, and then we were killing losers, killing winners, and it was pretty straightforward, to be honest. And Facebook ads were a lot cheaper at that time, so margins were not big with t-shirts. It was we were selling them for 24. We paid them around like 12, and we were grossing maybe 13, something like that per t-shirt. If we could get a sale for like $8 in ad spends, we were happy with that, and we would try to scale it as fast as possible.
Awesome. You eventually hit that 3K a month goal that you mentioned earlier. What were your challenges at that point? What were you focused on at that point? Where did your journey take you from there?
Good question. So the goal was to make 3K, but of course I see money as unit of freedom. So the more money you have, the more freedom you have. You have more freedom in your personal life, but you have more freedom also in your business projects and your business journey. So we grew pretty fast. Like, we struggled like crazy for 5 years, and then August 16, 2014, we had our first profitable day. We profit around like $150, and then it's September, we profit like 15K, and 6 months after that we had our first 100K profit month. So it grew really fast from there. So at some point, I feel like for me it was completely life changing to go from making, like, being absolutely poor and having trouble to have money to eat and pay your rent and stuff like that, to like making 10K per month. It was completely life changing, because like buying a plane ticket or buying clothes or food or paying your rent at that point isn't an issue anymore. But after that, of course, there's a big difference between making 10K or 100K per month, but I feel it's not as big as from like 0 to 10K. And then after that, it's just a challenge. And I love learning. I love challenges, and I'm definitely an entrepreneur at heart. So after that, it's really like the game. It's really, I just love the business game and playing the game, and you want to improve, you want to set new goals and reach new goals. So after that, at some point, it's not as much about the money. Once you took all the money problem in your life, it's more about like the challenge for me, to be honest.
Tell me a little bit about one of your most successful stores. You can reveal it if you want to, but just tell us a little bit about what made it so successful. Why, in your opinion, this print on demand store is actually a brand and not just a cash cow, and it actually has value behind it. So you can talk a little bit about that.
We have one of the store I don't mind revealing is Yes We Vibe. We launched it in 2016. At some point, selling T-shirts was becoming a lot harder on with Facebook ads because it was hard to be profitable and the margins were slim. Facebook ads costs increased. And then so we launched our Shopify store in 2016. The first brand we did was Yes We Vibe. We're still running it today as well. And then we started with t-shirt, and then footwear become a thing with print on demand at the end of 2016 or early 2017. So we became very footwear specific, and we had a lot of success with this. We sold for millions per year for many years in a row, and then we made it. The store was really successful, I feel, for multiple reasons, but number one reason is just being there on a daily basis and being there pushing and trying to improve stuff. And when you run a store, there's always going to be hundreds of stuff to improve and to work on, but actually there's only a few stuff that really matters. So simple scales, fancy fills. So we try to keep it simple and focus on what really made us money. And we became really good with Facebook ads over the years. So we were spending millions in ads per year, and we're profitable acquiring customers, um, and acquiring new customers. So we had a really good cash cow as a business, and but also we focused on building a real brand. So I spent more than a year in China developing our own products and directly with some factories owner. So I developed the products from scratch, picked everything, and now we have like full control over the production. So we can have our full branding, we can customize anything we want. So by creating, I feel that there's no secret, that's for sure. But I feel if I had to pick a few things would be working on it, like having being there on a weekly basis and daily basis, really pushing and focusing on what's actually making a difference at the end of the month on your P&L. After having quality products is very important, because if you have good products and you offer good service, you can increase your LTV, and you'll have just a lot more repeat business. So it's not just one times order. So we have a very good repeat business rate, which definitely helps. And then another thing, we focus on performance marketing. So our goal is to spend as much money as possible on ads and make more money from them and acquire customer profitably. And we focus on Facebook mainly, it's our core expertise. And when you advertise on Facebook, you do interruption marketing. So no one's opened Facebook with the intent of buying a print-on-demand shoe. So you interrupt them in their news feed. So you the number one thing to have, like, to the number one thing that you need to work on running Facebook ads, it's the offer. I would say in order, it's like offer, after creative, and after targeting. So the offer for us was the cool designs that we made, and we kept making new designs and finding new interest that our audience has, but also a really good offer with the price point. So we've been running BOGO, buy one get one free, for quite a while, and having a really good offer with the price point and a good offer with your product really increase your chance of success running Facebook ads. So that has been definitely one of our superpower over the years, uh, running Facebook ads very successfully.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. That's been my specialty as well. I wanted to also make a point about what you said about how there isn't a secret. I agree. A lot of people are searching for like a silver bullet, like one thing that is going to fix their entire business, like that one solution. And if you don't, it's more so like a bunch of golden BBs is what Hormozy describes it as. Is a bunch of little tiny golden BBs that you're implementing in your business and getting better, like you said, pushing every day to get better, and experimenting with new ads and experimenting with new products. That's what's going to set you apart. That insight is really good. So
just to make a point on that, I 100% agree, and struggled like crazy I tried so many things during the 5 years I wanted to achieve my goal of 3K per month. And I thought there was a secret, and I was really like, it was dumb, but I thought there was a secret. I was really looking for like a special pills or something like that. I thought there would be like it's just something I didn't know, and I'll find a way to like a few buttons I could press, and then money would print. And so the number, as I mentioned earlier, when I realized that the only way you can make, not the only way, but I wanted to have my own business. And then if you have your own business, you have to have if you want to make money, you have to have a product or a service to sell. So I was like, okay, there's no secret. I just need to either I sell a product or a service as an affiliate or something like that, that I make a commission, or I create my own. And then it kind of clicked for me. And it was a huge switch. And it like and then I started to understand that there's no like one secret. It's just showing up on a daily basis, making good decisions. And it's a combination of doing the right things in many different stuff on your business or whatever money making activities you're trying to do online that will give you success over time.
yeah, and it all compounds too. Everything you learn in one business, even if that business didn't go exactly as you envisioned it, all of that knowledge and skill can transfer over into the next one. So if you have the hunger for it and you keep going, then you're gonna eventually reach that point. Not if but when. But if you give up, then obviously you're gonna fail. So
I'll make. I think it's a good point for your audience. I struggled for 5 years, but I wasn't fully committed, and I wasn't like all out for 5 years. That's for sure. And then I lived in Asia for 5 6 years, and the first time I went in Asia for 3 months, I was with my brother. And at the time he was a professional poker player and had been for years, and he was making really good money playing poker. And then he was playing on PokerStar at the time, so he was playing mostly online. And we were in Thailand together, and he could play poker for a few hours and make like make 2K. And then we would go out at night, and he would pay for stuff because he had a lot more money than me. So when I came back home at that time, I was like, I really, it kind of reinforced my goal of making 3K per month, because it showed me that it was not only possible, but it showed me exactly how my life would be if I was able to make it happen. So I came back in June back home, and I said, fuck it, I have to really commit, and I have to make this work, because I want to be able to live that lifestyle. So it took 2 months and that summer I committed like crazy to make things work with t-shirt and Facebook ads. So I only did that. I did that for like 16 hours per day. I didn't go out with my friends. My friends were like, oh, you're boring. Why you don't go out? And I really focused and just work. And it took 2 months to basically had our first $150 profit day. And then we profit every single day for the next 8 months after that. So did it take 2 months to achieve my goal? Definitely not, because if I didn't do the 5 years before, I couldn't. I learned a lot. I experienced a lot. It kind of prepared me for it. If I, if I had the focus and the commitment that I had during these 2 months for the whole 5 years, it would have, I would have been able to do it a lot faster. But to your point,
yeah,
I think it's a good lesson. So the lesson is basically like, you have to commit and you have to focus and believe in yourself. And one big thing that I had also was, which it's not talked a lot, it's the fear of the fear, not of the fear of failing, but the fear of succeeding. And I did that for a long time. I would push, and I could kind of see myself succeeding at that, and it would scare me like crazy, and then I would back off. So like an example would be like, oh, we would need to hire our first VA, like virtual assistant in the Philippines to help us with like Facebook comments and stuff like that. And I was like, what if she doesn't like me? What if she tried to steal what I teach her and do start selling t-shirts? So I had a lot more fear of success actually than fear of failure. And fear of success hold me back for a long time. And once I started to realize that let's just take it day by day and I'll figure things out. And most of the fear you have is fear about the future, but the future doesn't exist. So I try I force myself to stop having these fears and just focus on doing the right thing on a day-to-day basis. And it really helped me just reach new levels.
Yes, definitely. That was beautifully said. And whenever, a lot of the times, at least for myself, whenever I feel fear arising or anxiety arising around something, it's because I'm trying too hard to make an outcome happen in a certain amount of time. Like, it has to happen by this time and it has to be this outcome. But if you focus instead on what are the inputs that could get me to that output by that time, that outcome by that time, then you can focus on the inputs instead. And then you're actually taking action and doing something. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I feel like that's like on my channel, I never try and tell people that you're gonna get into print on demand and overnight you're gonna be able to just print money and become a millionaire. Like, you hear stories like this, but a lot of the times what you don't hear is how long the buildup was and how much, trial and error there was and how much they had to actually commit to it. They might first start someone starts kind of like side income just to see if it's possible, and then eventually maybe they commit, but it's not until a year later that they really get into it. And so it's definitely possible, and there are stories of people getting into it and focusing intensely right away and succeeding very quickly with it. But a lot of the times it takes a while to learn the fundamentals and then build up a catalog of products and everything else it takes to succeed.
100%. At some point, I started doing the online stuff, trying to make money online at 19, and then I think it was like 3 or 4 years in, I I always thought I would do something special with my life. And when I was younger, I was like, oh, I want to do something cool, and I thought I was like someone special and do some. I had like big dreams and stuff like that. So I wanted to be a billionaire before 25, and like people in at my high school, they knew like they were that's I thought I would do some special stuff. And then at maybe 20 maybe 20 around like 22, for one of the biggest fear I had in my life was that I was struggling so much, and then I started to have some thoughts that like, oh, maybe people are right and I'm crazy and it's not gonna work and I'm just gonna have like a normal job and do like have like a normal life, and there's nothing bad to that, but it's just not what I wanted. And it really scared me. I kind of have, for the first time, I had the thought that maybe I'll stop dreaming, and it really really scared me. So at that point I said, hey, if it takes until I'm 30 to reach my goal of 3K per month, another 8 years, is it going to be worth it? And I was like, yeah, it's going to be worth it. So I committed to the next two until at least 30. And it took like another 2 years or something like that at that point. So, but I felt it was when you have like people overestimate what they can do. It's, I think Bezos says that like people overestimate what they can do in like 6 months, but they definitely underestimate what they can do in 5 years. So if you have a long time frame, you have a huge advantage.
Definitely. How did you decide it was time to split your attention and start focusing on multiple stores and not just one store? When was that moment right for you?
It's a very good question. We launch a lot more stores that didn't succeed than the one that succeed. And what the one mistake that I made through the years was one of the biggest mistake I made as an entrepreneur was trying to pursue too many opportunities at the same time. And there's actually a lot of value in focus and having like one stuff to put all your attention and focus on. So I think a lot of people under underestimate the time, the effort, and the brain energy that it takes to run a highly profitable store in the POD space or not. And a good example of that is when we created when I spent more than a year in China developing our own our own product infrastructure for our POD products. We the infrastructure that was created was quite valuable and powerful at the time. So I thought, and back in the days, I was selling in so many different niches with t-shirts. I thought I could like open a new store for all these niches and leverage that infrastructure that was just built in China and crush it. So we started by launching a new store, and that store didn't do well at all for the first year. We did like 300K in revenue, not a lot of profit for the first year, and it wasn't a big success compared to the other store that we had. And then the main reason why was just time and effort spent. And then I did a deal with my brother, and my brother took care of the store on a daily basis. And the first year that my brother started to take care of the store, we went from 300K to 4 mil in the next year, and we ran it very profitably for 3 years, and then we profited millions, and we sold it for multiple seven figures after that. So the and what was the difference? Like the year that we made 300K, the first year that didn't do very well, what was the big difference? It's like there was not enough time and effort put onto the store. From, of course, it has to be like a smart person that knows what he's doing and putting that time. But so I would say, when would you should consider launching a new store? It would be when you tried like everything, all the ideas you have and stuff like that, to try to scale your all the growth opportunities that you think of and that you think are good for your brand, and they don't work, and you feel really stuck. But not like you feel stuck because you're lazy and you don't put the effort. You really tried hard to scale it and it just doesn't work at that point. Because there's a question we discussed a lot internally and through the years, is it easier to have, like, let's say you want to make $1 million in revenue per month, is it easier to do it with 3 store that does 333K, or 1 store that does 1 mil? I don't know the answer, to be honest, and I feel it depends on your audience, it depends on your marketing strategies, it depends on a lot of stuff. But definitely every store, there's a lot of time and effort. So if you feel you can keep growing your store and you have one, do that, because it's going to be much easier than setting up a brand new store, new Klaviyo account, new CS team, new everything. Plus, and or the other thing I would say, if your store can grow without your daily implication, so you have a team and you have processes in place that allow you to grow that store without the growth being dependent on you.
Yeah.
I feel that's another, if you can reach that, which is not easy to do, then you could consider launching a new one.
Awesome. Many people just getting started with print on demand should really be focused on one store at a time, whether they're on Shopify or Etsy or wherever, kind of get started there. And then once they've kind of automated that for the most part, got the processes and they're profitable and they have more time, then they can move over to expanding.
One thing that Russell Brunson said many years ago that was really helpful for me was, you need to generate traffic, learn to generate traffic that will generate sales on your store, and you can pay less for that traffic. If you pay for it, then the revenue or the gross profit it generates for you. So, and there's dozens of ways, really good ways to generate traffic online, but you only need to become good at two, and one has to be emails. So usually e-commerce stores, like at least 20% of their revenue will be emails, and it's very profitable, it's very good. So you need to do emails, and then you need to do another thing. So just focus on becoming good at one thing, and then once you feel there's no more growth opportunity in that thing, then you move on another one. But for us, it was Facebook ads, and we were able to spend millions per year, and we were generating millions more and profiting from it. So it was a huge kind of superpower for us. But there's a lot more value at becoming extremely good at one thing than being so at like 5 different things.
Definitely agree. Cool. And then what's a breakdown of your strategy, since we're kind of talking about Facebook ads and email marketing and specifics? Can you give us a little bit of a breakdown of your strategy for attracting customers in 2024? How you're going to grow, how you're attracting customers. Are you still using Facebook ads, or are things changing for you?
Cool. We we exited one of our with the store that I had with my brother in last year, beginning of last year, and last year after like 8 years of working like crazy hours and working like crazy, spending most of my time in front of the computer screen. I took a year a bit more off. So yes, we vibe took a hit, and then because I wasn't there to push on a daily basis, and then this year we made a deal with one of my friend in the industry that will take over the store and the daily operations on a daily basis. And our main focus hasn't really changed. We still believe that Facebook ads is king, and we're getting good results with Facebook ads still, but we know that we can get much better results. So the main focus for now will be to bring back Facebook ads to higher levels, and and after that we'll work on. Unlike in 2014, I feel that it's becoming a lot more like multi-touch, and you need to do well on multiple aspects if you want to scale to higher levels. So we're gonna do a full revamp of the front end of the store. We're gonna work on our social media campaigns. We're gonna improve our SMS, our emails that we do. We're gonna work on CRO. And then, so we're gonna just work on improving a lot of the core foundation of an e-commerce website. And then we're gonna focus on Facebook ads until we reach levels that we're satisfied with. And at that point, we'll bring on another paid media channel, which will probably be TikTok.
Awesome. Cool. And tell us a little bit about what you're specifically going to be focused on, since you exited from one of your stores last year. What's your focus at the moment?
We This year my main focus will be working on YesWeFulfill. So YesWeFulfill is a Shopify print-on-demand fulfillment app. It's not open to the public. It's we focus on basically we focus on helping other stores that are in the similar situation that we were, to leverage and tap the infrastructure that we've built over the years to built multiple 8 figures Shopify print on demand store. So we work with high performing print on demand store. We offer them a personalized service. We can do full free branding and a lot of cool stuff. We have our own fulfillment center in China, and work directly with a bunch of factories. So we basically help other big print-on-demand Shopify stores leverage the infrastructure that allowed us to have the success we had with our e-commerce stores, and that's going to be the main focus, my main focus for this year and the coming years.
Awesome. Very cool. I'll be linking down below a page where you can fill out a form to apply to work with them, or you could jump on a free call.
Good. It was great to talk. Thanks for the time, Jacob. And I don't use social media personally. I use it for my businesses. But you can, if you want to reach out to me, you can go on YesWeFulfill.com, book a call, or there's a form there, or you can reach out to my email directly at oli@YesWeFulfill.com.
Awesome. Sounds good. All right, guys, there'll be a link for that below, and all the other resources that we talked about today will also be in the description. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day. See you in the next video. And Ollie, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Jacob.